Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We've got 2 matches remaining in the league. And then tomorrow, Oath of the Gatewatch, free release online. I'm going to be doing one. It's not going to come out until tomorrow evening, but rest assured I will put one up. Quite a bit of backlash about Thopter Spy Network, surprisingly. I mean, I wasn't sold on it at first. I'm still undecided whether I'm sold on it, but I definitely want to at least give it a chance. I don't know why people would necessarily be anti-Thopter Spy Network, but pro, like, Outpost Siege over Spy Network, or Dig Through Time over Thopter Spy Network. I think, synergistically speaking, Thopter Spy Network seems to be in line with most of what our deck wants to do. A little bit of backlash against cutting one of the Vile Aggregates, too. This is just an experiment to see how it runs with 3 of them. I'm not like anti... Vile Aggregate is sort of the ace in the hole. Nobody expects the Vile Aggregate sort of card in this deck, which I love. So I just basically cut it to 3 because I'm trying to get more in line with the whole Chief of the Foundry, Thopter Spy Network sort of artifact-y plan. But I'm willing to go back up to 4 if it feels like it needs it. I mean, going down to 3, I think, is still going to be just fine. I'm also still okay with Seismic Rupture for now. I've seen some suggestions for, like, Boiling Earth, maybe even going back to Radiant Flames, but Seismic Rupture is still going to be very good against the Atarka Red deck. Absolutely. I think that just really helps our match a lot. And then maybe even against the Mardu aggro deck. Kills quite a few things, right? Kills the 2/2, the Seeker of the Way. It kills the Abbot. Some of those decks run like Hordeling Outburst, I think. I want to say. That might not be true, though. But it kills a lot of creatures in that deck, definitely. So I still think Seismic Rupture is going to be really good for us, since it's close to a one-sided board wipe. And I like it more than Boiling Earth because it still kills Monastery Swift Spear and like Seeker of the Way and stuff like that. But we shall see. All right, 2 matches remaining, so you're only going to get 2 matches today. I don't want to just join another league for a 3rd match for a little while. I'm definitely planning on doing more standard events with this deck. I want to wait until, people actually have some Oath cards so we can see how it contends in the new meta. And I'm hoping by the time I post another one of these standard videos, I've got the Swiftwater Cliffs replaced with the Manlands, because I think that'll be a fairly painless swap. We're foregoing the life gain aspect of Swiftwater Cliffs, which has come up for us before. It's actually, it's straight up. I remember being at 1 life in a game where I played a Swiftwater Cliffs, so that straight up means I didn't die because of it, which is important. But I do want to try out the Manland, both offensively and defensively. I think it could come up big. All right, let's do our remaining 2 matches. Oh yeah, we suffered our first loss in, what was it? I'm going to check, actually. I'm going to do the math on how long our streak actually was. All right, folks, you see it with your own eyes. 18 wins in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 wins in a row. Unbelievable. All in league. So that's definitely the craziest run of matches won I think I've ever had in any format ever. I cannot imagine winning 18 matches in a row, especially in league, where you're actually playing against pretty. Let's face it, pretty much all the decks I played against in league were competitive decks, so that's pretty incredible. Okay, back. Let's do our remaining 2 matches here. Okay, we're in match. Ooh, it's kind of a weird hand. I think we're going to keep, though. We're in match 1 of the day. We have a removal spell. Double Ghostfire Blade is not ideal. Ooh, Abzan aggro, huh? Could be. Most likely is. Could spell trouble. We'll see. We're just a Pia and Kiran Nalar or a Whirler Rogue away from some value, though. Oh, what do we got? Hanger Backwalker, sure. Well, that's not a common card in Abzan aggro. Well, I guess I can Wild Slash that. Sure. Seems reasonable. I want to save the roast for on a Fenza or something. Yeah, it looks like we're playing against Abzan. This could definitely spell trouble. Still hunting for that top deck. Guess I wouldn't mind seeing a post-combat on a Fenza, since I can kill it. Huh. Guess it's like a den protector then. Well, I guess we kill the den protector. I would rather kill on a Fenza, but... yeah, if I don't kill the den protector, he gets too much value. Oh. Gideon's a problem until I find one of my flyers, and then Thopter Engineer would be a great top deck at the moment. Hangerback's not bad, actually. Alright, well, guess the plan is swing at Gids. Guess it's in our best interest to just keep swinging here. Probably Siege Rhino now, I'm guessing. Or Abzan Charm. Can't do anything about that. Even if I hadn't equipped it with Ghostfire Blade, the same outcome would have happened. Alright, Foundry is actually a very good draw here. Should have played the Foundry after attacks. I think that would have been smarter. But this is fine. So probably have to deal with Wingmate Rock now. But I guess the nice thing is I can attack into him because of Chief of the Foundry. So I've got that going for me. Or something else entirely. Siege Rhino. Alright, Siege Rhino is going to be beatable. War into the first tree is a problem. But we're going to have to accept that problem. Alright, we are still just a nice little top deck away from some serious. That's not the top deck I was referring to, though. Alright, well, I guess it's time to kill Gids. So he's not going to block. Replay Cliffs. That would have been a sick time to draw one of our 4-drops. Yeah, we're kind of a removal spell away from some trouble now. Yeah, it's not what I wanted to see, but just one of those unavoidable things. So, taking a really absurd amount of damage here. I wish it wasn't the case. Still just a top deck away from being precisely back in this game. Yeah, see, this isn't a good spot you want to be up against with Abzan, where you're in top deck mode against Abzan. It's really not where you want to be. Being top deck mode against Abzan is really going to end up bad for us. I think we don't attack either. As much as we have high value draws, I still think the random card in Abzan aggro is stronger than the random card in our deck, which is surprising because our deck is like ridiculous in terms of strong top decks, but I do think that's the case. So he can pay 4 mana. I think I chump block the Rhino, and we're going to double block the Warden in case he's got like Abzan Charm or something. Again, a third one. I just think it's really difficult to beat the Warden of the first tree. Like, I have Roast for this. I guess technically I have Roast for the Warden there too, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a problem. Need a top deck here. All right, Top Engineer number 2 is, I guess, keeping us alive. So I guess we actually double equip here. That way I can just straight up kill a Siege Rhino. Chump one and then do some other kind of awkward blocking. Might be dead to Shambling Vent, now that I think about it. We'll see. I think it's scarier that my opponent has something better to do. Well, it doesn't have haste though, right? Oh yeah, emblem. That's right. So get in with everything. Am I just dead? Let's say I go like this. Take 2 here. So I can't do what I want to do. That's tough. It's a tough spot. It's a very tough spot. Is there any way to live? There probably is. It's just really bad. Like I guess I can go like this. And then I just take 2. But I can't not block anything. That's the problem. All right, that worked out really bad for us. At this point, there is no actual road to recovery, but it's just something you got to deal with. All right, It's our worst matchup and didn't get there game one, so that's certainly worrisome. I don't think there's any argument that this is our worst matchup. I've seen a couple of people say maybe there's something worse, but no, I'm almost positive this is absolutely our worst matchup. I think our record of being 1-6 against it, I think we're actually 1-6 against it, which is just horrifically bad. Would indicate that yeah, it's definitely our worst matchup. What do we take out here? Spy networks in this matchup. Well, it's the first time we've had to deal with this question. I think he's bringing in silk wraps, which makes our hanger backs and aggregates worse, but everything else fine. Makes our chiefs worse too. Could bring in negates or disdainful strokes. Problem is, I think we just have to beat Siege Rhino, which I don't like, but we have roasts for it. He also has Onofenza, which is going to make our hanger backs worse. Basically, our hanger backs do absolutely get worse in this matchup. I might just want to cut the hanger backs. Our burn spells kind of suck here too, which isn't good. But nothing to be done. How badly do I need Thopter Spy Networks? I really have no idea how good it is in this matchup. I presume it's not great in this matchup, but I really don't know. I think I'm going to take him out. Once again, I don't know if that's right. Kind of would like a Disdainful Stroke or two, just because I really do think Wingmate Rock and Siege Rhino are big threats, just even with the roasts. But a counterspell plan. I don't know. Let's take out one wild slash, one more hanger back, and we'll bring in a couple disdainful strokes and see if they can do something for us. All right. I want to bring in negate too. I don't know what to take out here. You sort of got to pick what's the most important cards, I think. All right. Obviously can't keep that. This is a pretty poor hand. I don't think it wins most of the time. Trying to think if I can keep it though. I feel like if I mull the 5 against Abzan aggro, if you mull the 5 against your worst matchup, do you just lose anyway? I think that's a legitimate question that really needs to be considered. I may be better off just trying to keep this, trying to hope that I can keep something on top that's relevant. This hand is just not good. Man, I really have to decide if I can mull the 5 and beat Abzan aggro. I don't think I can. I really don't think I can beat Abzan aggro at 5 cards. Oh boy. This is a tough spot to be in the worst matchup. 5 lands, 1's a utility with probably your most powerful 4-drop. Oh man, I don't like this. I don't like this choice. It's a really awkward choice. If I draw lands, I just lose. 100% lose. If I mull to 5, what are my chances of losing? They gotta be high. They really gotta be high. I'm going to keep it. All right. Keep that on top. It's probably our most powerful card we could hope to keep on top, to be honest. It at least allows us to go Chief into Pia and Kieran. I still think we're in big trouble, and our opponent hasn't even done anything yet. All right. No Warden of the First Tree is good news because that card is obviously good against us. All right. I have a feeling that's going to get silk wrapped, but we'll take it. as guessed. I should be a fortune teller. Whirler Rogue was a great draw there. Also have to worry about the Radiant Flames, so apparently our opponent is 4-color Abzan, which is definitely our worst matchup because Radiant Flames. Which is a card I'm going to have to actively avoid too. Question is, can I really afford to avoid Radiant Flames? I wasn't expecting the Radiant Flames because we didn't see red mana the last time. I think I'm going to have to play into a Siege Rhino. Man, this matchup is bad. Murderous Cut. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, it's unavoidable. Guess we don't have to show the Foundry just yet. Okay, on offense is beatable. We will be able to attack with Shambling Vent, which is a problem, but yeah, and on offensive stops the Hangerback Walker synergy. Well, that's okay. All right, let's maximize our damage here. Actually, no, that's not true. Oh, wait, he can pump this too? Well, so I guess technically I can make Whirler Rogue unblockable and get in for an extra point of damage, 5 damage. And it does change the clock. Which makes it a reasonable question here, as to whether I should do it. If opponent activates Shambling Vent, I think we're going to do it. If my opponent activates Shambling Vent, he can get by the Hangerback anyway. So let's get in for an extra point of damage here. I can't block the Anafenza for obvious reasons. I wouldn't mind too much if my opponent was on the Shambling Vent plan. Alright, that's actually not that relevant. Because it would have gotten exiled anyway. Alright, that's not the draw we're looking for, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, opponent's got to do some work on us, but the Shambling Vent with the Anafenza is going to take him out of lethal range here. I mean, it still puts us in a decent position, but we're not out of trouble. We are 1 damage short, too, which is a bummer. But we could draw a Thopter Engineer or Ghostfire Blade. Well, that puts him at lethal, so now he's got to do something. I guess that just means he's got like a removal spell or a creature. Hangerback. Alright, so he has the creature. That does up the amount of top decks we can get, though, I think. Maybe not. Still quite a few top decks, though. Aggregate's pretty good. So I guess we swing for 6, play an aggregate. Radiant Flames is still a big deal. So Shambling Vent doesn't get him out of it. He has to remove Vile Aggregate right now, and then he has to find some pretty good damage. So he has to like Radiant Flames, activate Shambling Vent, and then he's in pretty good shape after that, I guess. Sea Tyranno doesn't get him out of this. Wingmate Rock does not get him out of this. Yeah, it's not good. It's another reason Vile Aggregate is not as good as we need it to be in this matchup. The unfortunate byproduct of playing Hanger Backwalker is our opponent's Silk Wraps get stronger against our other cards, so that is a bummer. Plus our deck can't deal with Silk Wraps, which is also a bummer. I guess I have to bring in Negates. Almost seems like the Negates are more important than the Disdainful Strokes, I guess. It's tough. I mean, we still beat this. If this is his best play, we've got this. We take 8. So even with the Silk Wrap, it wasn't enough. Drew the Disdainful Stroke. All right, I think maybe we just swap the Disdainful Strokes for Negates, I guess. I mean, stopping Silk Wrap, Abzan Charm, Murderous, a cut, Gideon, which I presume he kept in. I like Negates more than Dispel here, definitely. Stops more things. Just debating how much I want to cut back on Hangerbacks. I mean, like I said, Anafenza, Silk Wrap, Abzan Charm, there's so many good things against... Hangerback just straight up feels bad in this match. It really does. What if I take out the Hangerbacks and go 2 Negate, 2 Disdainful? Can I do that? There's obvious issues with it, but... Keeping Aggregate alive, keeping Chief alive. He's got a lot of things to negate. He really does. He doesn't have a ton of things to Disdainful Stroke, unfortunately. Let's just bring in 4 Negates. Screw it. We'll take out the Hangerbacks. They're just not good enough in this matchup, in my opinion. All right, let's do this. All right, this hand is very good. This is basically what can beat at least Warden of the First Trees. Plus, we've got some action to boot. It's a good chance we're going to double Wild Slash on Anafenza on turn 3. I wouldn't mind seeing a ward in a first tree there. So at least gives me something to kill. Alright, Roast is very good, actually. Roast was a great top deck. It's going to let us go Roast into Pia and Kieran. Maybe he removes Pia and Kieran again, which should be good for us. Kind of want to see an Onofenza here pretty badly. So I could double Wild Slash the Onofenza. The reason to do that is he could follow up with a Siege Rhino and then I can roast it. Plus leave up Negate, I guess. Yeah, I think we're actually going to do that. As awkward as that seems, I think Wild Slashes are, if they're not dealing with a Warden of the first tree, which my opponent would have played, I'd rather roast a Siege Rhino next turn because a fourth turn Siege Rhino is going to be a bigger deal, I think. And if he plays another Onofenza, I can kill that too. Alright. So, at least it's working the way we wanted it to. Alright, well that's interesting. Do I want to play Pia and Kieran now? I guess not. Yet. So, we'll roast this and leave up Negate. Now I wish the Negate was a disdainful stroke, but what can you do? Kind of want to play Gideon here. That'd be nice. Yeah, it's not what I wanted to see, but what can you do? So I think we block the Siege Rhino, which is a bummer, but I think it's right. Prevents some damage and lets us play another P and Kieran. Wingmate Rock and we're pretty much toast. Yeah, it's the last thing we wanted to see, so that's just about the nail in the coffin there, unfortunately. How much damage are we taking next turn? So we double block that, we take 7, leave up Negate, sure. It's the best play I can think of. Yeah, it's not what we wanted to see either. So we'll take 7 and be in a bad spot. And the good spells keep coming. Thankfully we can negate this. Abzan Charm, I'm guessing. Yeah, opponent had a hot hand, but this is our worst matchup. Said it 1,000 times, still holds true. Even geared to beat this deck the best that we can is still just not good enough. Wish I wasn't taking damage for this P and Kieran. Why does Gideon have the crazy eyes? It's weird. Yeah, it looks like we're going to lose the same way we lost game 1, which is a bummer. But bummers happen. like I said, opponent had a sick hand. You got to go Onofenza into Siege Rhino into Siege Rhino into Wingmate Rock into Onofenza into Gideon, so or into Abzan Charm into Gideon, so pretty fantastic for him and not so good for us, as you might imagine. So yeah, this puts us in a pretty bad spot. Gets to boost his Trampler too. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Trying to think if there's any way to block this, even kind of effectively. I want to say no. I want to say not at all. So I could go chump, chump, double block. What does that do? Not much. Really doesn't do much. Makes me take 2. I gotta have something I can do here that's good, right? I don't think so, though. Just don't think so. If I lose Chief, these all get weaker. That's not good. Can't really triple block Bird without dying. Am I really just doing a bunch of chump blocking and basically just losing anyway? I guess so. I honestly can't see what else I can do. I have no idea how to win this. I'm just gonna, I don't think I can top deck out. I don't think I can win, is what I'm trying to say. I do not think that there is a way to win this. So I'm just gonna go like this. I see absolutely 0 ways to win this game. All right. Obviously, our worst matchup. I think we were really lucky, actually. We got to play so little of this since it's a very popular deck. So it's our worst matchup, and we lost. Not much else to say. I wish we could make this match better. I just don't think that we can. I feel like we added the 4 roasts. We've got a counterspell package we can try and do out of our sideboard. I just don't think that it does anything, though. I don't know which cards I'm supposed to bring in. Like I said, just a byproduct of this, why do I have 2 copies of this up? Okay, so Hangerback, Chief, Vile Aggregate, all weak against Silk Wrap. This deck is inherently weak against Siege Rhino. It's inherently weak against Wingmate Rock. It's inherently weak against Cannon of the First Tree. It's basically weak against every single card in his deck. Onofenza. Name one card in his deck. This deck is weak against it. Even Abzan Charm is versatile enough for that. This deck can't do anything. So it really does come down to that deck perfectly is suited to defeat ours. And I need to come up with some better plan. The quad roast is straight up in there to deal with that deck. It's obviously not good enough. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to come up with a game plan on that one because that's just going to be a consistent loser, I think. I was really lucky to beat that the one time that I did. And I think at this point we're 1-7 against Abzan aggro, so the bad matchup against them does continue. All right, let's go to our final match.